From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Zahar Sayed. Our top story tonight. Legal and civil society groups from around the world are backing a U.S. lawsuit against the President Joe Biden's administration for failing to prevent a potential genocide in Gaza. In late December, 77 groups representing thousands of people filed an amicus brief in support of the lawsuit brought by the Palestinian human rights organizations, Gaza's residents, and affected U.S. citizens. They named President Biden, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin in the suit. The organizations argued the U.S. is violating international law by not preventing or being complicit in a potential genocide in Gaza. The lawsuit is set for a hearing in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California. This coincides with Israel facing genocide charges at the International Court of Justice in The Hague. Legal experts believe the ICJ's decisions could influence the U.S. case. The Biden administration seeks to dismiss the lawsuit, citing foreign policy boundaries and a lack of jurisdiction. The International Court of Justice wrapped up its two-day hearings on South Africa's petition against Israel, accusing it of committing genocide in Gaza. Israel presented its defense, asserting South Africa's claims are distorted and that it has the right to defend itself due to Hamas's attacks. Israel's lawyers argued that South Africa's close ties with Hamas undermine the credibility of their claims and noted that Hamas initiated the conflict. Israel emphasized its efforts to minimize civilian harm, contrasting with Hamas embedding military operations in civilian areas. The lawyers challenged calls for Israel to end its operations in Gaza and noted any violations by Israeli forces can be addressed through Israel's legal system. Experts found Israel's defense weak, but acknowledged some strong points. They said Israel failed to address the broader context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and its claims of protecting civilians, considering the high death toll. The ICJ President John Donoghue asked agents of both governments to remain available to the court, as it will soon decide on provisional measures. The ruling could impact the ongoing war in Gaza. South Africa is also demanding that judges impose provisional measures on Israel to halt its assault to prevent further killings, lifting the blockade and allowing aid inside Gaza. Experts say while the court has no real enforcement power, its judgment will put more international pressure on Israel to stop the war.